What's a thug like you doing in this neighborhood with a package that clearly isn't yours? That's what she screamed right across my front lawn at my son. Not a hello, not a can I help you, just straight out, full volume racist, accusatory, like she'd been waiting for this moment her whole life. Yeah, that happened. And let me tell you, when a person starts with you people and a crime accusation before breakfast, you know you're in for one of those days. You'll never forget no matter how hard you try. My son, my smart, quiet, dorky 17-year-old standing on our grass with his dreads tied back and his favorite anime hoodie on, was just waiting for a package. You know, the type tech kid heart set on a new phone, months of mowing lawns and scrubbing gutters just to save up for it. He'd tracked the delivery for days, counting down, refreshing the app. Every 10 minutes, couldn't sleep the night before. So when that Amazon van rolled up, he shot out the door like a rocket, bouncing on his toes, grinning at the driver who looked tired enough to nap standing up. But just as the guy hands over the package, this woman blonde, perfectly put together face, twisted with more outrage than I thought possible outside of a reality show, comes barreling across her lawn. I'm standing at the window, smiling at my kid's excitement, thinking how proud I am, until her voice slices through the afternoon. Every bit of air gets sucked right out of the room. My son just freezes. The Amazon driver looks like he wants to melt into the pavement. "Excuse me," my son manages barely above a whisper, his grin gone. But she's on a roll, finger waving, French manicure flashing. "I've seen you and your kind casing the neighborhood. You think you can have stolen goods delivered right in broad daylight? In less than a minute, she's invented an entire criminal conspiracy, painted my boy as the ringleader, and decided the tired Amazon guy is in on it." You know what I mean? The absurdity would be funny if it wasn't so poisonous. The driver tries to break in. "Ma'am, this is his address, his name, my scanner says so." But she's immune to logic. All she sees is a black kid in a hoodie, and her brain fills in the rest with every stereotype cable news ever fed her. I'm fuming watching my son shrink in front of this woman, his excitement turning to confusion, then fear. And yeah, I'm a big guy, 6'2", and I'm running through every possible outcome. If I walk outside, will I help or just give her new material for her fever dream? Before I can decide, she actually slaps at the driver's hand, trying to knock the box away, yelling, "Liar!" The phone, my kid's phone, arcs through the airlands with a crack on the driveway. Everything stops. My son kneels trembling, opens the package, spiderweb cracks, glass shattered. The $1,000 dream he worked so hard for, destroyed in front of him by a woman who decided she was the law. The driver, now shaking with anger, tells her flat out, "Ma'am, you just destroyed private property. You assaulted me and broke this kid's phone. You're in so much trouble." But she doesn't flinch. She folds her arms, says, "He deserved it. It was probably stolen." I did the neighborhood a favor. I see tears in my boy's eyes, and that's it. I'm out the door, shaking, adrenaline in my veins. The Amazon guy looks at me like I'm his only hope. My son, wrecked, looks at me like he's not sure if it's okay to cry. "Karen." Yeah. At this point, there's no other name, points at me and shouts, "Here comes the rest of the gang. I knew you were all criminals." I ignore her. Kneel down, tell my son it's okay, it's just a thing, but he's not hearing it. The phone was more than just a gadget. It was pride. It was achievement. It was his innocence. And this woman smashed it without a second thought. The Amazon driver assures me I saw everything and my truck camera got it too. Thank God for that, because Karen's already calling 911, working herself into tears, telling the dispatcher she's surrounded by aggressive men that were running a theft ring. She says, "I'm afraid for my life. I think they might have weapons." I almost laugh, except it's not funny. In America, that call can be a death sentence. Cops roll up lights, sirens, doors flying open. Two of them, one older, measured the other, younger, rigid hand already hovering at his holster. Karen flings herself at them, sobbing, points at my son, says he tried to rob her, and when she confronted him, we both threatened her. The young cop goes straight for us. Hands where I can see them. My son's already got his hands up, shattered phone in his palm. The humiliation, man, it's like a physical slap. The older cop tries to get the story. Karen spins her tale. My son and I try to explain. The driver finally jumps in, tells the truth, even mentions the camera footage. There's a glimmer of hope until Karen fakes chest pains, clutches her pearls, and suddenly the young cop is all concerned for her. The investigation derails. We're now supporting actors in her one-woman drama. I hand over the Amazon receipt, the purchase confirmation, the credit card charge. The evidence is all there should be, open and shut. But the young cop, refusing to back down, asks how we know. My son didn't hack her account. He's a computer whiz. Look at these kids. They can do anything, Karen chimes in. It's like reality is folding in on itself. My son, the kid who won't even cheat on a math test, is now a cyber criminal in their eyes. It spirals. Officer Rigid wants someone in cuffs, says the situation is too heated, announces my son is going downtown to give a statement. He cuffs him right there on our lawn. My boy, still in shock, led to the cruiser, while Karen smiles in triumph, the Amazon guy muttering, "This is insane." At the station, the system grinds us up, $500 bail, a list of bogus charges, an officer at the desk who acts like we're the inconvenience. My son, humiliated, sits in a holding cell, stripped of his shoelaces, fingerprinted, mugshotted. He tells me later how he sat on that bench thinking about what he could have done differently, how maybe if he'd just stayed inside, none of this would have happened. That's the worst part, the system making the victim feel like the criminal. Back home, a notice from the HOA, complaint about criminal activity, threat of fines, risk of being kicked out. Karen's not done. She wants to destroy us. I call a lawyer, Mr. Davies, and he lays it out. We fight on two fronts. Clear my son's name, sue Karen for damages and harassment. But then comes the restraining order. Karen claims my son is stalking her, can't come within 500 feet of her property, even though our houses are 50 feet apart. It's a legal chokehold, my son now under de facto house arrest. The driver, Frank, turns skittish after his company leans on him, worried about corporate contracts. Amazon claims their truck footage is accidentally erased. Every pillar we try to stand on crumbles under corporate cowardice and connections. Until my sister blows up our story on social media, thousands of shares, support flooding, and a local news reporter picking it up. Public outrage, forcing Amazon and the police to cooperate. A private investigator digs up Karen's history, a pattern of racial harassment. Bogus police calls her fingerprints all over HOA rules, targeting anyone different. When the civil rights letter hits the HOA board, they panic. Karen's stripped of her title. The neighborhood watch gets dissolved. Finally, the truck footage surfaces clear as day. Karen's the aggressor. The restraining order gets tossed in court. The judge eviscerates Karen for her lies. All charges against my son dropped. The DA apologizes and starts investigating Karen for a false report. She offers to settle, pay for the phone and legal fees if we sign an NDA and make it all disappear. My son, voice steadier than I've ever heard, says no. He wants a jury to hear the truth. The trial is brutal and public, every lie exposed, every racist pattern laid bare. The jury doesn't just find her liable. They hand down punitive damages that knock the wind out of her. She loses her home, her reputation, and faces charges herself. Victory, right? Except the scars run deeper than the settlement check. My son got a new phone, but he'll never get back the innocence or trust he lost. Our safe suburb will never feel the same. People wave, but now we wonder who really had our backs and who just watched. We fought, we won, but the storm changed us. We're healing, but it's a slow process. Every family barbecue, every walk to the mailbox, we remember. Justice isn't a destination, it's a fight that never really ends, and sometimes it's just about standing your ground on a sunny afternoon. All because a kid wanted a new phone. So let me ask you, where do you draw the line between justice and just surviving? Have you ever stood up to a bully or been the target of one yourself? Drop a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. Share your own story. Because honestly, the only way this ever changes is if people start talking. That's how we turn the tide, one truth at a time.